Officer, thank God you're here. This dog was hit by a car. He's in shock.
Ma'am, I got a report about someone hurting an animal on this street.
Hurting? No, sir. I'm a veterinarian providing emergency medical treatment. Officer, she's been hurting that poor dog. We saw her.
That's not true. I'm trying to save his life.
What? Everyone step back, please.
Dr. Kenya Washington was providing emergency treatment to an injured dog after a traffic accident when witnesses mistook veterinary procedures for animal cruelty and called police. Officer Rodriguez had to make a critical decision between medical emergency and criminal investigation. This case highlights the challenges of public perception in professional veterinary care. Tonight, we'll examine how a veterinarian's emergency intervention on a street animal was mistaken for animal abuse and the delicate balance between emergency animal care and law enforcement. If you follow this type of real veterinary emergency analysis, please subscribe and turn on notifications. These stories contain critical insights about the social challenges faced by animal welfare professionals and emergency animal care protocols. Dr. Kenya Washington, 33 years old, an experienced emergency veterinarian practicing in Denver. Graduate of Colorado State University College of Veterinary Medicine with a specialty in emergency and critical care. She has developed expertise in small animal medicine, trauma surgery, and emergency response. Kenya's passion for veterinary medicine comes from childhood. She had always been drawn to helping injured animals, volunteered at local animal shelters in high school. She excelled in pre-veterinary studies and graduated in the top 10% of veterinary school. Emergency veterinary care is a demanding field. Critical decisions, life-threatening situations, emotional stress, technical expertise requirements. Kenya embraced these challenges and built a reputation in emergency animal medicine. Kenya's practice, Mile High Emergency Veterinary Clinic, is one of Denver metropolitan area's leading emergency animal care facilities. 24/7 emergency service, advanced equipment, experienced staff. Kenya handles complex cases as a senior veterinarian. Veterinary emergency response is Kenya's area of expertise. Traffic accidents, poisonings, trauma cases, critical surgeries. She has trained in field emergency care and can use portable veterinary equipment. That Friday evening, Kenya had completed her normal shift and was driving home. It was 6:30 p.m. Traffic was moderate, typical Denver evening commute. While waiting at a red light at the intersection of 15th Avenue and Colfax, she observed an accident. A silver Honda Civic making a right turn hit a medium-sized mixed-breed dog. The dog was immediately injured. The driver panicked but continued driving. A hit-and-run situation. The injured animal was bleeding on the sidewalk. Kenya immediately switched to emergency response mode. She parked her car and grabbed her emergency veterinary kit. She always keeps emergency supplies in her vehicle. Professional responsibility, and personal commitment. The injured dog was a golden retriever mix, approximately 40 pounds, male, no collar. Obvious trauma, left hind leg fracture, abdominal pain indicators, possible internal bleeding. Conscious but showing shock symptoms. Kenya followed emergency assessment protocol. Vital signs check, trauma evaluation, pain assessment. The dog's condition was serious but could be stabilized with professional care. Immediate intervention necessary to minimize blood loss. During this time, bystanders began to gather. Urban area, moderate pedestrian traffic, people curious about the emergency situation. Kenya was attracting attention while providing professional medical care. Mrs. Helen Chun, 67 years old, retired teacher, living in a nearby apartment building. She observed the accident aftermath from her window, watching the interaction between a young black woman and the injured dog. From Mrs. Chen's perspective, the situation looked alarming. An unfamiliar person dealing with an injured animal, blood visible, audible animal distress sounds. She couldn't recognize veterinary expertise and assumed suspicious activity. Dylan Brooks, 24 years old, graduate student, witnessed the accident on his jogging route. He saw the dog get hit, but observed that the driver continued. He watched Kenya approach, initially relieved that someone was helping. But Dylan didn't understand veterinary procedures. Kenya's examination techniques, restraint methods, medical interventions looked unfamiliar to him. His perspective shifted from concern to suspicion. Mrs. Chen became increasingly worried while observing from her balcony. Animal distress sounds, visible blood, unclear intent of the person's actions. She decided to call 911. Someone hurting dog on 15th Avenue. Need police immediately. Dylan also used his cell phone, making a similar call. I think someone's abusing an animal on Colfax. Woman doing something to injured dog. Both callers were well-intentioned but misinterpreted veterinary care. Dispatch gave the animal cruelty report serious priority. Officer Luis Rodriguez was assigned to respond. An 8-year veteran with experience in animal-related calls, he prefers a community policing approach. The body cam footage you watched earlier shows the critical moment Officer Rodriguez approached Dr. Washington. Emergency veterinary care was ongoing. Bystanders were confused. Police investigation was beginning. Officer, thank God you're here. This dog was hit by a car. He's in shock. Kenya's immediate response was professional. Medical priority was clear. Emergency veterinary care must continue for life-saving purposes. Ma'am, I got a report about someone hurting an animal on this street. Rodriguez was factual and procedural. He had to investigate the animal cruelty allegation, but scene assessment was important. Kenya's medical explanation was clear. Hurting? No, sir. I'm a veterinarian providing emergency medical treatment. Professional credentials, medical equipment, obvious emergency care setup caught Rodriguez's attention. Multiple perspectives were colliding in this interaction. Kenya focused on emergency medical care, Rodriguez on investigation duty, bystanders sharing confused observations. Mrs. Chin joined the crowd, taking an accusatory approach. Officer, she's been hurting that poor dog. We saw her. There was no cultural language barrier, but there was a gap in understanding professional veterinary procedures. Kenya's shocked response, that's not true. I'm trying to save his life. He needs emergency surgery right now. The conflict between medical urgency and criminal accusation was creating stress. Time pressure was increasing. Rodriguez tried to maintain professional balance. Everyone step back, please. Ma'am, animal control is on the way. Don't move the animal. He had to follow protocol, but the emergency medical situation was obvious. Critical moment, the animal's condition was deteriorating. Officer, this dog has internal bleeding. If we wait for animal control, he'll die. I need to get him to my clinic now. Kenya's medical expertise was in tension with bureaucratic procedure. Dylan began to realize his initial assumption was wrong. I called because I thought someone was attacking the dog, but maybe I was wrong? The witness account was shifting. Confusion was building. At this point, Samantha Rivera, 29 years old, a nurse, arrived at the scene. She was the actual witness to the accident. Wait, that's wrong. I saw the whole thing. A car hit this dog. She ran over to help. Truth was emerging, but time pressure was critical. Kenya was forced to make a medical decision. Officer, his breathing is getting shallow. I have to move him to my clinic now, or he's going to die. Rodriguez was trapped between protocol and life-saving care. Ma'am, I understand the emergency, but I still need animal control to clear this before you can move him. Critical support arrived. Priya Patel, Kenya's clinic coordinator. Dr. Washington, I got your emergency call. Trauma bay is ready. We need to move now. Professional veterinary backup provided Rodriguez with clarity. Licensed veterinarian coordinated emergency response, legitimate medical operation. The balance between investigation and emergency care shifted. Kenya's final medical appeal. Officer, my clinic coordinator is here. This is a legitimate veterinary emergency. This animal will die without immediate surgery. Rodriguez made a professional judgment call. Multiple confirmations, professional veterinary credentials, emergency medical equipment, coordinated clinic response, corrected witness accounts. It was clear that medical emergency should take priority. Dr. Washington, get the animal to your clinic immediately. I'll follow up with the investigation later. Rodriguez prioritized life-saving care, making bureaucratic procedure secondary. Emergency transport was successful. The dog was transported to Mile High Emergency Veterinary Clinic. Kenya performed emergency surgery. Internal bleeding was controlled, fracture was repaired, full recovery was expected. Mrs. Chun developed understanding about veterinary care. I didn't know she was a doctor. I thought someone was hurting the dog. Cultural and professional misunderstanding, good intentions but wrong conclusion. Dylan was apologetic. I should have asked what was happening before calling police. I assumed the worst. Witness responsibility, importance of accurate reporting, danger of assumptions. Samantha's accurate witness account was crucial. I knew immediately she was helping, not hurting. Her actions were clearly medical. Proper observation, veterinary procedure recognition. Rodriguez learned a valuable lesson. Emergency medical care should be priority, but investigation thoroughness is necessary. Balance is challenging but possible. Professional development for community policing. This incident was a reflection point for Kenya. Public understanding of veterinary care is limited. Communication is important in emergency response. Bystander education is necessary. Professional responsibility expanded. Mile High Clinic developed a community outreach program using this experience as reference. Public education about veterinary emergency care, bystander response training, animal emergency recognition. Mrs. Chun learned from this experience and became a neighborhood animal welfare advocate. She tried to understand veterinary emergency procedures and supported community education. Dylan added a veterinary emergency response component to his graduate studies. He researched animal welfare from a public health perspective and emergency response protocols. Rodriguez contributed to department training. He developed protocols for distinguishing animal emergency versus cruelty, veterinary professional recognition, emergency medical priority. The dog, whom Kenya named Lucky, made a full recovery. He found a permanent home and receives periodic checkups at Kenya's clinic. A medical success story, result of community cooperation. This case provides multiple lessons. Emergency animal care can be subject to public misunderstanding. Bystander good intentions but wrong assumptions are dangerous. Professional veterinary recognition is important for public safety. Emergency medical priority is more important than bureaucratic procedure. Community education can improve animal welfare understanding. Veterinary emergency medicine is a challenging field. When working in public settings, additional scrutiny, potential for misunderstanding, and social pressure are factors. Professional communication is critical. Animal welfare is a complex issue. Public concern about animal abuse is important, but interference with legitimate veterinary care is problematic. Balance is necessary between community safety and animal care. I want to ask you, if you witness an emergency animal situation, how would you respond? How can we distinguish professional veterinary care from animal abuse? How can community animal welfare awareness be improved? This case study is used in veterinary education programs to develop emergency response training, public communication, bystander interaction skills. Kenya now holds a leadership position in emergency veterinary medicine. She coordinates community outreach programs and provides public education about veterinary emergency care. Mrs. Chun became an animal welfare advocate, organizing veterinary emergency recognition training in neighborhood watch groups. Cultural bridge building in the animal care community. Dylan completed public health graduate studies and researches animal welfare policy. Academic approach to improve community animal emergency response. Officer Rodriguez developed an enhanced approach to animal-related calls. He improved veterinary professional coordination, emergency medical priority protocols, community animal welfare balance. Professional veterinary care requires public trust and understanding. In emergency situations, communication should be clear, credentials visible, professional coordination evident. Animal emergency response is a community responsibility. Bystander awareness, professional recognition, appropriate authority contact, emergency medical priority, understanding are critical. Veterinary professionals are the community's animal welfare guardians. Their emergency response capabilities should be supported, public understanding should be enhanced, professional expertise should be respected. Intersectionality is important in this story. Professional expertise, cultural misunderstanding, emergency response protocols, community dynamics. Considering multiple perspectives is necessary for comprehensive understanding. Emergency animal care is life-saving work. If public support, professional recognition, and community cooperation are enhanced, animal welfare can significantly improve. Kenya's story demonstrates this potential. Community animal welfare is everyone's responsibility. Collaboration between professional veterinarians, law enforcement, concerned citizens, and local authorities is necessary for effective animal protection. This experience strengthened Kenya's professional mission. Providing emergency animal care is not only a medical responsibility, but also includes community education and public advocacy. I'm curious in the comments, how have your experiences been in emergency animal situations? Have you witnessed veterinary emergency care? How can community animal welfare be improved? If you want to follow this type of veterinary professional insights, don't forget to subscribe. Animal welfare, emergency veterinary care, and community dynamics are explored in these stories. Kenya's story continues in emergency veterinary medicine, professional leadership, community education, animal welfare advocacy. Challenging experiences can create positive outcomes with proper approach and community support. We will continue to examine experiences of animal welfare professionals on this channel. Veterinary medicine, animal emergency response, community animal care, all of their stories are important for understanding the animal welfare ecosystem. animal welfare heroes face challenging situations on a daily basis. Recognizing and supporting their dedication, expertise, and community service is the responsibility of an animal-loving society.